Hey guys, I just wanted to quickly show off the fact that I'm a niche internet celebrity now. Um, just kidding, of course, but I am in this Silent Whisper video featuring Redstone builds. I just wanted to show you guys some of it, show you guys the fact that I was in it, and talk more about the context of those builds. Um, I'd like to thank Silent though for the fact that he's been so helpful and collaborating with Amylyx. He's been nice to work with, and this was a fun video, so let's give it a watch. So I'm just going to go ahead and skip to the first build because this is the one that I worked on with Kono, even though Kono really took charge after a while and worked on it on his own. But yeah, he put the railgun in the video.
What if you could kill the Ender Dragon with nothing but a single arrow? Well, you might think it's kind of absurd, but it's actually possible because Kono designed an Ender Dragon farm that uses one arrow and a ton of TNT to absolutely decimate the dragon in one shot.
So context behind this build, before Amylyx was even a fleshed out server, me and Baden invited a few of our friends, and we got straight to work with creative mode testing because that's mostly what we do. We're more creative players than survival ones, and immediately we wanted a good XP farm since we couldn't find a good one. And I suggested a zero-tick kelp farm, but that didn't work very well. So Kono and I immediately made the funny little jump from that to a railgun. So for I think over the span of 2 days, we tested a lot with like TNT layouts and found a decent one that could kill the dragon. And then after that, he sort of went ham with rewiring the bottom compression and then doing all the distribution and things and doing all the logic. Like he really took the project and ran with it, and it's really fun to use. And it was great to get it to work the first time. Believe it or not, we still don't have this on the server, and some person in the Amylyx Discord has actually built it before us, so we gave him a little special role for it, but that's a bit too much, so let's just look at it a bit more.
This surprisingly small little build right here is all you need to insta-kill the Ender Dragon, and this thing is highly optimized as well. There's no extra pistons where there shouldn't be to reduce lag. All the hoppers are locked when they're not in use. It doesn't waste any TNT in the distribution system. It's quite the feat of engineering all around. And now we go up to the top of the build, so we need to put in ourselves a bunch of TNT. It uses 90 TNT per shot, and then you flick the lever. That is going to begin the distribution sequence for all of the TNT items. So once all of your TNT is in the system, you can go ahead and shoot the one arrow that is going to be used to kill the dragon. You just shoot it right in there. It gets lined up perfectly to drop down onto this block right here. As you can see, the dragon dies immediately and then goes down to the fountain, and it's just incredible. Now, I was supposed to be holding a Smite 5 sword for that, but it doesn't even matter, does it?
So, that Smite 5 sword we found was pretty necessary. I don't know how it worked without it. Maybe the fact that he has strength, but I don't know if that affects arrows. But yeah, we tested, and 90 TNT is the best amount to kill a dragon. That's the minimum you need. And the arrow has to hit the neck of the dragon because that's where it deals the most damage. So it's specifically aligned above the end fountain to do that. And yeah, we found also that it takes one shot to kill an Ender Dragon. This takes 3 shots to kill a Warden, which is kind of ridiculous. But yeah, that's that build. And now let's skip to the one which I actually submitted. So guys, we actually got a Khalib shitpost into a Silent Whisperer video. Just look at this.
You guys might have noticed that Minecraft's gotten a little bit stale in the last couple of years with the updates, especially with the technical updates. So there's a bit of a meme in the technical Minecraft community where you just build everything movable. Doesn't matter what it is. Mob farms, iron farms, trident killers. If you can make it movable, make it movable. So that
I am so glad that bit has reached the mainstream because this is like what I've been doing for probably over a year. Like, I did my movable trident killer as well. a while ago. I made, obviously, this machine. I worked on a few other movable things like the translocator and thing, and like stuff like that. But yeah, I highly recommend if you're bored, make something movable because it challenges you to think in ways you don't before, you haven't done previously, and you can make a really cool build out of it. I'm glad that Oware has picked that up with me as well. But yeah, let's just watch this as well.
That is how we get this movable serial transmission system. So this section right here is...
I'm so glad that I chose to credit Totem as like the both of us, but I kind of wish I put his name first since he mostly designed the system because he made the movable logic for the serial encoder and decoder. And all I really did is just make it move, but yeah, a lot of the credit should go to him because that's absolutely insane that he was able to pull that off.
Is an 8-bit encoder, and this over here is the 8-bit decoder. So basically, we can send a number from 1 through 8 through this rail line, which is like magic, and then it ends up over here. So to demo this...
Yeah, so I explained it a bit in the book in the world download, but serial, if you don't know, like if you're new to the channel, hi, what's up? Serial transmission is basically you're just sending a pattern through one line. So it can be a rail line because it's a specific pattern of pulses that's getting interpreted at the end. It's not like a separate line for each thing. It's not remembering which rail is hit. It's just remembering the pattern that is sent over to the other part of it.
So we can select 4 right here, which is the 4th slot, and then we activate the system. So this will encode that information, send it along the line, and then it gets over to the decoder. And as you can see, it selects number 4, which is just mind-blowing magic. How do you do that with a rail? So that alone is pretty cool, but guess what? The entire system is a flying machine because the Minecraft community is bored.
I love being bored. The movable stuff is so fun. This machine took me so long to make. You have no idea how many times I redesigned the decoder for like some small part to break while it was flying, and for me to have to go through this maze of redstone to determine what went wrong. So you see right here, this is actually a furnace delay engine because sometimes, well, let's find a good spot where he shows a good angle. Right here. So in order to make this work, this rail line in the middle, I actually pulse it to activate it at the end after all the observers are put in place. But in order to not have the output spammed when the observers are moving back and forth, I have to let the observers be moved out first, which is the first part of the sequence, and then I push this back piston so that it pushes this front piston and drops this white quartz block over top, and that's what keeps it there for the output. And then it'll stay there for the output, the rail line is pulsed, powers the trapdoors, whichever ones it needs, and then it powers this piston to reset it. But the problem is whenever I move this system gets spammed, and these getting spammed isn't great because of bedrock piston randomness. So what I do with this flyer right here is after a long amount of delay, I will pulse the back pistons and then the front pistons just to make sure everything is reset and in the right place, because otherwise the system is very screwed. But yeah, that's about it for that right there.
Watching this thing move is also just incredible. So we power this piston right here and then unpower it, and then the entire thing moves and is still functional after it has moved. And then this system over here has its own little activation as well. So we just power this piston, unpower that, and then the whole machine moves forwards a block, which is incredibly impressive. Okay, this is way cooler and way more crazy than I thought. So instead of sending just one, lamp at a time, you can send multiple. So we can do like 1.
I loved this moment of realization. Like, first when he was like, we can send a number over here. Oh, in my head I was like, wait, please don't say he just sent one number. And then we get to this part where the realization hit, and I was like, let's go. Yeah, I was so excited for that. It's really fun seeing like really niche builds like this hit the mainstream, just because it's a very complex machine reaching a new audience. But yeah, let's just let the video play.
3 and 5, and then this same sequence will end up over there, which is just insane. So let's send that through the system, and then it'll take a little second to process that, and it'll go ahead and light up these lamps here. As you can see, that is so cool. And of course, it's a flying machine as well. So, you know, just, yeah, it's a flying machine. What else do you want from me? It moves. Seriously, though, what kind of witchcraft is this where it's sending information through rails? I don't understand you. So they're using these observers to power the rail at a specific spot, and then that gets transferred through all of these observers until eventually it gets to this rail line right here. And then depending on what observer is out, that's going to power this trapdoor, which goes to our temporary display right here. So somehow the rails are remembering exactly which one is getting powered.
So not that exactly. Hold on, let's scrub back to here. So you see this piston right here? These pistons will move the observers back and forth. So what happens when you activate the encoder after you've selected everything is it sends an initial pulse. All of these observers are moved forward over the rail line, which is why we have to move the blocks later to make sure all of these don't pulse. So after these move, in a sequence that is timed the same way with the encoder, these pistons will slowly push each observer back in series. But if a bit on the encoder is selected, all of these pistons will pulse at the back. So say we selected bit 2, it would try to push the observer back, but these pistons would be extending already, which would keep it out here. And then after all of that is done all the way down the line, then we pulse this line, which corresponds to the output, which is how this machine works. But yeah, it was really fun to see my build go into a video. This is all I have for today. If you want to watch a more in-depth and not so like spur of the moment rambly explanation, even though it's pretty like I sort of just yap as well, I have my dedicated video to the serial pairing you can watch. But yeah, that's all. If you're new to this channel, hello, I make shitposts here. Highly technical shitposts. That's a good thing to call them. But yeah, see you guys next time.